Well, listen, when it comes to preparing your life for a professional theatre performer, it requires intensive study, dedicated practice and discipline towards building a bright career.
Absolutely, and that's why Expresso went down to the Luitingh Alexander Musical Theatre Academy out in Cape Town to show just what it takes to put together an institution for the performing arts.
There is a wealth of artistic talent in our country, but there aren't enough centres dedicated to the training and cultivation of professional theatre performers. That's why there is a bright spotlight shining on the opening of a new performing arts institution, Luitingh Alexander Musical Theatre Academy.
So the idea of the academy was born out of something quite exciting, and that is the fact that as South Africa, there are so many wonderful musicals and projects happening that we're running out of talent. And I think for the moment, in fact, there are 4 big international musicals that are out abroad that all have South Africans in them. Having spoken to Peter Turin, our impresario, you know, we were like, what are we going to do to keep producing this high standard caliber of talent in South Africa? And so, yeah, LAMTA was born. The older you get and the wiser you get, the more experience you have, the more directors you've worked with and choreographers and producers, you have a wealth of information to share. And, you know, it would be ridiculous not to be able to pass that on to generations and to our future generations, you know. And Dwayne and I have always had, again, with the musical theatre workshops, we've had, you know, a process that we follow in terms of nurturing youngsters. We work a lot with all the kids that are in the shows, on shows like Matilda and Sound of Music. And now it's about taking that knowledge and sharing it with students who are 2 or 3, 4 years away from actually becoming professionals themselves.
With the popularity and calibre of South Africa's musical productions, it's now almost essential to be a triple threat performer in Mzansi. LAMTA's comprehensive courses taught by their multidisciplinary and experienced staff ensure that students will develop the skills required to enjoy a lasting life in the performing arts.
LAMTA is a musical theatre academy, so to study musical theatre you need to study the disciplines that make up musical theatre, essentially acting, singing and dancing, and then what's really important is to put those elements together again. So that is what our students spend most of their time focusing on, the practical and theoretical aspects of singing, acting and dancing. But LAMTA is a little bit more than that. You know, we're also trying to prepare our students for a career in the industry. So it's not just about being able to be the performer, but it's about how to handle yourself as a career, how to handle yourself as a business. So, you know, theatre has been dying for thousands and thousands of years. It will never die, but we need to make sure that we keep up with the times and that we are providing rich talent to the industry. And what better place to do it than in this particular facility?
One of the young stars is a passionate young lady who's overcome much adversity to fulfill her dream.
I was born with recessive polycystic kidney and liver disease with congenital hepatic fibrosis. Over time, it makes your kidneys fail, so you're always in renal failure. My love for performing arts, it started with my grandfather taking me to We Will Rock You when I was 5, and it gave me a reason to wake up in the morning and to not feel sick all the time and just to not think about the stuff that could happen. And then I started doing musical theatre workshops with Anton and Dwayne, and that just made everything better.
Classical ballet training is the most grounded and most important part of any dancer, any entertainer is training, because we are strengthening firstly the core, which is going to help them get through an entire show, a 3-hour show like Cats, and to find their stance and their preparation as to how to enter a stage and how to exit and how to reverence and thank the audience for applause. This is all part of training of classical ballet.
The caliber is already quite high. There are obviously students who are at different levels. Some students have never taken formal training before, so they have a raw talent. So that's actually quite exciting to work with for me, to see what happens to a voice that is new and natural compared to those who have already had a lot of training.
It's an inspiration actually to come to work, so I can imagine for the students to be in this environment, and they're getting to do everything that they love. They're singing, they're dancing, they're acting, they get private coaching, they get the best teachers teaching them, and it's very clear with all the students how happy they are.
While LAMTA may be a newcomer in the field of performing arts education, it is steeped in the tradition, expertise, experience and passion necessary to propel generations of future legends into entertainment.